What's going on, my friends? So, before we go any further, I need you to make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below, like this video, and enable notifications to get the latest information on when our next video is released. Now, with that being said, my name is Josh Hurds, guys, and welcome to Tuesday Talks, where the conversations that we have actually have a little bit of validity in your life. How are we doing today, friends? So last week we were talking about assertive communication. We were talking about making sure that you get your point out there, but in a way that isn't too over the top and isn't too undercutting to the people that you're talking to. Well, this week I wanted to focus on the actual opposite of that. I wanted to talk about active listening. Now, active listening is, for all intent and purposes, listening to each and every word, understanding the position of our conversation partner, and really trying to grasp what their perspective is on the topic at hand, whether that is trying to solve a problem or whether, it's just talking about an issue or some sort of topic that, is up for debate or discussion. Now, there are a couple different types of listening, guys, but like I said, the one that we really want to focus on today is active listening. Active listening is more than just obviously using your ears. It is using every single one of your senses to communicate and to really understand the perspective of, the people that are involved in your conversation. Active listening is really going to include so many different things, but we're going to limit it down to a couple key points. We're going to limit it down to a few things that I personally think work super well. A couple of things that really, really take the cake and make the difference when it comes to problem solving, both IRL and URL, and things that really, really help in terms of building relationships and bonds through whatever these situations may be. I really want you guys to focus on a couple of things. First thing is, above all, eye contact. Okay, you really, really want to be focusing in on the person that you're talking to. If you're talking to multiple people, okay, you kind of have to shift back and forth, but definitely make a point to keep your eyes in line with the person that you are talking to at that moment. Again, I'm talking to a camera here, so it does make things a little bit easier. You guys are going to see me looking down at my notes. You're going to see me checking different things on the screen to kind of keep an eye on everything. But for the most part, we're really looking at the concept of keeping eye contact. I want you guys to know that I'm engaged with you. I want you to understand that I'm really taking an interest in what you're talking about. I don't want it to seem empathetic. I don't want you to be sitting there just, I know how you feel. I understand. I want you to be using more open-ended questions, okay? Body language is key, all right? I want an open posture. Now, again, I'm standing here, I'm talking to a camera, so it's a little bit different. But those of you who have met me in person know that I'm very, very, I keep my posture open. I'm not crossing my arms. I'm not hiding, behind something. I'm keeping my hands out here. I'm conversating with my hands. I use them for everything. But I like to make sure that I'm open and I'm facing whoever I'm talking to, and I'm not in a threatening manner. Like I said, very, very open-ended, very welcoming. I make sure that my hands are open so that you can see them. It looks weird holding them up here. It is what it is. Excuse me. Making sure that while I am listening to what you're saying, I am also engaging. Okay, I want to make sure that I'm still talking to you. I want you guys to know that I'm agreeing and I'm understanding what you're saying. So I'm going to use open-ended things like, okay, keep going. Yes, I understand what you're saying. Okay, that makes sense. Use words, even simple little nonverbal cues like, okay, those little things make a world of difference because it shows that you're paying attention. And reiterate what they're saying. Someone is saying that they're having a problem with this person. Something like, okay, so why are you having a problem with so-and-so? Okay, What is so-and-so doing that's causing this issue? Reiterating and repeating what they're saying is going to prove that you're listening to what they're saying, as well as giving you a grounds to really, really kind of understand their perspective and what they're talking about. It definitely does make a difference, okay? Make sure that you're combining your nonverbal cues with your verbal cues. So in my case, I really like, I do a lot of things with my hands, but a lot of times when I ask a question, you guys will see me, I'll reach forward, and it's almost like I'm passing off. So I'm understanding that you're having an issue with this. Okay, so why is that the problem versus this? You see what I'm doing? I'm combining my verbal cues with my nonverbal cues, and I'm basically saying, hey, here's how I would do it. Why is it working this way for you? Okay. One of the other things you can do here, and this is kind of a, it's a little bit harder to understand this concept, but what you're going to do is called mirroring. Okay. Mirroring is very similar to repeating. It's kind of that concept of repetition. Monkey see, monkey do. I'm really having a problem with this. So you're having a problem with this. Why are you having a problem with this? That repetition, that repeating what they're doing, the mirroring of effect, the mirroring of what they're talking about, and making sure that they know that you're listening to what they're talking about. Avoid distractions. Okay, for example, my phone has been going off constantly this whole entire time. I see it popping up and I see it lighting up, and I want you guys to know that it's like, put that away. Sometimes you get put in these situations where you really have to focus on what's going on. You really, really have to focus on what this other person is saying in order to create a solution, to create an actual solution to whatever's going on. Now, keep in mind, assertive communication and active listening really do fit like perfect puzzle pieces. They are the gateway to solving any sort of problem. And I mean any problem whatsoever. If I take the time to really understand what you're saying to me, if I take the time to really understand what's being said, then what you are talking about is going to open up doors for fixing whatever the issue may be, okay? Whether that's something IRL or online, it doesn't really matter, because we all have that ability to conversate in a good way. Now, while you're online, you're in a voice call, okay, so you can't use your physical cues, okay? You can't. But you can really, really focus on the conversation because you don't have that distraction of having to look at something. Now, if you're on a video call, that's entirely different. On a video call, you can use all these same things. Don't cross your arms. Don't sit here in a very, hunched forward, shoulders forward sort of motion. No, you sit back open, you sit back relaxed. Still posture up, but make sure that they can see that you're actively engaging with what they're saying. What it comes down to is understanding the perspective of what they're trying to talk about. And guys, perspective is something that we continually hit on. We continually say perspective. And the reason is, there isn't a topic that we'll cover that doesn't revolve around perspective. Perspective is literally key to every sort of situational problem solving. And keep in mind, problem solving, guys, is something that's not just, a actual problem. Problem solving is just that. It's working through day-to-day issues. My personal suggestion to you, and will always be, take a step back and see things from their side. Assertive communication is them or you talking and directly confronting an issue. Active listening is what you're going to do when someone assertively communicates with you. Does that make sense? It is literally hand in hand, point in point. It fits together better than a Lego block, okay? We're talking square peg in a square hole. It's perfect. When you get good at it, you're able to solve things a lot faster, you're more effective, you're more efficient, and people are going to enjoy talking to you more because you're going to show interest in what they're doing. When you show interest in what they're doing and in the problems that you're trying to solve, people enjoy talking to you more. Kind of seems like a win-win in my book. Now, there isn't going to be any long, drawn out, this is how you do it, this is what it does. Every person's going to be a little different. It's going to take a little bit for you to figure out exactly how to make it work in your best interest. It's always a challenge to make things function in a way that works for you. But guys, 99% of life is art. Okay? It is taking the skills, taking these techniques, taking the ideas that are presented, and learning how to make them work for you. You can teach an artist how to run a pencil across the paper, but how that artist holds that pencil, how that artist holds that pen, that paintbrush, it's all going to be different. And the result is a different brushstroke for every person. Learning how to do something differently than someone else doesn't mean you're wrong. It simply means you're doing it different. Communication is the same way. We all communicate a little bit differently. But active listening is going to make it so that you can understand the way that they are communicating. Remember to keep your eye contact. Take a second and check your body posture. Mirror the things and interests that they're saying. Copy the points. Repeat. Reiterate everything that they're talking about. And you're going to be able to solve whatever comes your way so much faster. You're going to be able to have discussions. You're going to have discussions, guys, that make or break friendships. But when you're actively communicating in an effective way, when you're actively listening to what they're saying, you're not going to break any friendships. In fact, you're going to strengthen every bond in front of you. Whether that's personal, whether that's platonic, whether it's romantic, whether it's business, it doesn't matter. If you're able to actively listen to what is said, if you're able to listen and pay attention, you're going to be able to communicate better. And in the long run, things are going to work out so much better. Guys, I appreciate y'all taking the time to sit here and listen to me. Come in and stop in and say hi. With that being said, guys, look for us next week as we bring to you another great topic. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I will see you on the next Positive Motion.